In 2004, an iconic fairy tale satire with an ensemble cast and incredible soundtrack was released. That movie was Ella Enchanted. You thought I was going to say Shrek 2, didn't you? Well, actually, that's not your fault because I did edit that to make it seem like I would say Shrek 2, but also because Ella Enchanted was a box office bomb that seemingly nobody watched. As a self-proclaimed Shrek expert, a Shrekspert, I did write that down and I did laugh when I wrote it down, and now I'm saying it and I still think it's funny. You know, I might not be good at long division, but I can come up with Shrekspert. If somebody's already come up with that, which I'm sure someone already has, don't tell me. As a Shrekspert, I am here to argue that this box office bomb that was marketed as another take on Cinderella is just as deserving of masterpiece status as Shrek 1, 2, and 3. And that this film actually lives within the Shrek universe. The Shrekverse. That one's not as good. Not as good as Shrekspert, for sure. This is actually not a new idea. Ella Enchanted truthers have been saying this for years. This movie has all of the bones of a Shrek movie. Great music, casting, humor, plot.
Old-fashioned fairy tale and turned it on its end and made it much more about girl power.
Ogres.
Shish kebab.
All put together to create something beautiful. Something that transcends space and time. It's my belief this movie did not get the same amount of love that Shrek did because it was marketed as a Cinderella rom-com, but it's actually so much more than that. And I am here today to prove it. Ella Enchanted is actually an adaptation from a book that was published in 1997 by Gail Carson Levine. The book is fantastic, but light years different from the film. Ella Enchanted book fans saw the movie and were a little bit horrified. Rightfully so. So that definitely didn't help the reception the film got in 2004. It grossed over $27 million, which sounds like a lot, but the budget was $31 million. So the movie has fallen into obscurity a little bit, even for me, a fan. But while I was ill with a devastating ailment known as the flu, I could do absolutely nothing but watch movies. The cinematic experience of watching this movie, I believe, did cure me of my flu. I was telling everyone I know about this movie and how good it was and how we cannot leave this movie in the past. My final stop on my journey of being an Ella Enchanted evangelist, we begin our journey in an unknown fairy tale kingdom, flying around, seeing things like unicorns, rainbows, greenery, and it's just magical. It feels like all of the pieces of a fairy tale are here. And we pass over a little place called Frel and end up at this very cute cottage. And we were taught something like this was very quaint and achievable. This is probably averaging about $3 million in 2025. But let's pretend this is a humble, inexpensive, middle-class home, because this is a fairy tale, it's fantasy, we gotta kind of, play into the fantasy a little bit. The narrator in this movie takes on many forms, but he starts as a paper boy, and he's rhyming, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been liking a rhyme lately.
But our story today is different in theme, for our hero had no choice, or so it would seem.
Been very into a rhyme, and he's basically telling us that the story that's about to unfold, the journey we're about to venture on, isn't like other fairy tales. This one's different. We make our way into the home where we have one baby, two ladies, and one man. The one man is the dad of the baby, one lady is the mom of the baby, and the other lady is the household fairy. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fairies in this fairy tale. Very good for me to see that, yeah. Minnie Driver is our household fairy named Mandy. Unfortunately, Mandy is not very good at casting spells. We will learn more about the consequences of that later. So every baby in this fairy tale kingdom gets a gift bestowed upon them by a fairy. That sounds pretty exciting. I love that. Okay, a little bit of an experiment. What do you think your gift would be if a fairy bestowed a gift upon you when you were born? I would say mine would be the fact that I can run a joke into the ground. Would love to know yours in the comments. Lucinda is the one who shows up to our resident baby's home. Lucinda is in the organization of fairies that bestows the gifts upon the children. However, Lucinda is known for giving the worst gifts to babies. The outfit, the hair, the vibe. You'll notice the wardrobe, despite this being a fairy tale, which I feel like tend to typically be set in like medieval times, is very early 2000s. Some people made fun of it for this reason, but I think it's an amazing time capsule of fashion that maybe we can explore soon. I don't know, those little cone hats are coming back. I don't know if those ever were here. Maybe like 100 something years ago. I don't know. See those cone hats people are wearing now? medieval core. I don't know. Who knows what the aesthetics. Everything's evolving, but this would be fun to try. A little medieval Y2K combo. Inspo this movie. And it's fantasy. Why restrict fantasy to corsets and ball gowns when we can have this? Lucinda has and always will remain one of my favorite characters in this movie, despite the devious, borderline demonic spell she's about to put on Ella in about 47 seconds. As soon as Lucinda starts to hold her, Ella starts crying, and Lucinda loses patience about 3 seconds in.
Quiet, please. I can't concentrate here.
And gives her the gift of obedience and tells her to go to sleep and then wake up. Yeah. Mandy's like, this is really bad. Please take this back. But Miss Lucinda has a no return policy. Right. And then threatens to turn Ella into a squirrel instead. Lucinda explains that this is actually a good thing because she's going to be the perfect child. She's going to listen to what everybody tells her to do. And then Ella pees on her. That's going to be a little bit of a theme in the movie, that despite her being obedient, she's still going to find her own way to do things. I'm so confused because if Lucinda has been giving gifts to children, she's got to have encountered at least one other crying baby, unless this is like her second baby. But the word on the street is that she gives the worst spells. So has she given other kids the gift of obedience and we don't know? Or has she done worse? I'd actually really love a sequel to this movie of all of the other children who had received Lucinda's spells and their journeys. I'd watch it. And was just everyone else's gift in the kingdom just very non-existent? Because it seems like no one else has like this crazy gift of any sort from any fairy except for Ella. And it's the only one that goes into her adulthood. Just like, what are the other gifts that kids could receive? Maybe like you'll be really good at math? I don't know. Curious. Despite the obedience spell, Ella grows up to be very strong-willed, passionate, and honorable. A girl on the playground was bullying another girl, saying a little bit of racist things.
Why don't you go back to where you came from? Yeah.
And yes, prejudice and racism does exist in this fairy tale kingdom, and that will come into play later on. This little girl named Arita and Ella become best friends. Throughout Ella's life, she learns to cope with the curse as best as she can. Like, she takes a bite out of her bully when the bully asks Ella to bite her.
Bite me.
Or when her mom or Mandy aren't really thinking when they're telling Ella to do things.
Dig in and stuff your face. I'm gonna get forks.
Yeah, we see Ella really struggle with this, and when she's younger, she's begging Mandy and her mom to talk to Lucinda to take the curse back, and they're like, sorry, babe, can't. There's also this scene where her mom orders her to play the mandolin.
Ella, come practice your mandolin.
Fine, but I'll take my own sweet time doing it.
Hurry up now.
Why was she commanding her to play the mandolin? Why was it so important that she couldn't give Ella the choice to play that mandolin? Was Ella on the path to be a mandolin prodigy and it was absolutely essential that she practices at that moment? Like, I don't know, you can't really teach her to be obedient because she already is. So I feel like giving her the choice to do things would be better. Well, any dream about being a mandolin prodigy goes out the window when Ella's mom gets very ill. On the deathbed, her mother tells Ella that she and Mandy are the only two who know about her gift. Not even her dad knows. Ella's mother then commands her to never tell anybody about the gift. Ever.
What's inside you is stronger than any spell.
Okay. And then she gives her a necklace and dies. No space for mourning though, because we cut to the song Strange Magic and Anne Hathaway and her absolutely insane face card. Now, she's a bit older. Her dad's getting married to somebody who has money and likes his title. At least he's honest. And then tells Ella, oh, you'll get along with her. I'm sure she'll adore you and you'll adore her. Like I said earlier, this is a little bit of a take on Cinderella. Cinderella, Ella, Enchanted. Right. Well, with Cinderella comes an evil stepmom, an evil stepsister, and another stepsister that's not as evil, but a little dumb. Dame Olga shows up to the house and is pissed.
But I do seem to remember that at the noblemen's convention, you said that you lived in a castle.
Like, girl, you agreed to marry a man without seeing his home. That's on you. But also, like I was saying before, they're acting like this house is some shack. Yes, this is a quainted, lowly house. Sure. The stepsisters, Hattie and Olive, are always going to be dressed fierce. I have to acknowledge that. They have these fur-trimmed dresses with massive sleeves and velvet. I want one so bad. So Hattie is evil and has a little bit of intelligence, which, as we know in today's society, is a deadly combination. And Olive just steals things.
There's no room in here either.
Miss Hattie is also the president of the Prince Char fan club. And something about Ella is she's going to be a very vocal critic of the crown.
You know, Char and his uncle are responsible for the segregation of the kingdom.
So? He's dreamy.
Like I said before, just because we're in a fairy tale doesn't mean very real evil doesn't exist. So it is believed that Sir Edgar and Prince Char are the reason for the segregation that's happening in the kingdom. Giants are being enslaved, elves are being forced to work jobs they don't want to work, and ogres are being killed. Fairies just seem to be chilling. The kingdom used to be very enmeshed until the new king came into office. Was crowned. So all of that unification has been undone. Ella's actually very pissed about that. Hattie is like, and Prince Char is hot? Nothing else matters? Her worst trait, though, is the fact that she's a very commanding person. Obviously not good because of Ella's curse.
Show it to us. Get away. Hand it over.
Yeah, this is really bad. This is going to be bad. The dad's also leaving somewhere to make some money, which obviously is going to make things much worse for Ella. Important note, Ella's actually in college. I don't know why watching this pleased me. I remember, even though I was 6, saying out loud to myself, I like that. I guess I just assumed that she would be like 16 because I feel like every single coming of age type movie is about a 16-year-old. But it just makes sense that Ella's like 21. She has a really strong sense of self. She knows who she is. She's passionate. She has a good moral compass. She's got all of the foundational parts of self figured out. But there's still more to her, deeper things that she needs to figure out for herself. You know what I mean? That I feel like a 16-year-old doesn't really get to that point yet.
Humans used to exist in harmony. But when King Florian was killed, allegedly, by an ogre, Sir Edgar saw it as an opportunity to exile all non-human creatures to the forest, keeping their land for himself.
While Hattie is listening to Ella's passionate speech about the terrible political climate that the kingdom is in, Hattie has Ella's mom's necklace in her mouth, and I actually got a little pissed off here. It's just so gross and disrespectful.
Sir Edgar has done a fantastic job. He has driven the ogres out, and he has put giants and elves to work as labourers and entertainers. Therefore, if it weren't for him, we wouldn't have today's thriving free enterprise system.
Ella then brings up Prince Char. Big mistake. Because Hattie and all the girls in class get pissed. During the debate, Hattie also notices how weirdly obedient Ella is.
Just admit you're stupid and don't know what you're talking about.
I'm stupid and I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's very clear Ella's true nature is very defiant. So when she's doing everything everyone tells her to do, it doesn't make sense.
Hold your tongue, Ella.
Now I have to ask, how is Hattie the first one to see this? I don't know if Hattie is the first commanding person Ella has ever met that no one has noticed, but even her dad didn't notice this about her. A young Hugh Dancy plays Prince Charmant, and I'm now realizing that is a play on charming. When I saw Hugh Dancy in this film, I was gobsmacked. Gorgeous. If this was released in the year 2025, he would be White Boy of the Decade. No contest. So Char's hanging out with his uncle, Sir Edgar. Does this man look familiar to you? Think deeply about this. Yes, Saw, of course. But think deeper.
It was great to bring Carrie into this film since he played the young hero in The Princess Bride. So we thought it might be just a little bit ironic to make him that sort of, mustache twirling villain.
Actually very genius. Char doesn't actually like publicity or public appearances, but Sir Edgar tells him that it's really important that they go to build trust with the people.
What's not to trust? Nothing.
So apparently Char has been gone for a really long time studying. I'm assuming he was off at college. And it's getting word now from Edgar that all of the non-humans have gotten very violent.
The giants have always been peaceful. The ogres were peaceful too, until they ripped your father to shreds.
Char is actually on his way to the college, the same college that Ella attends, as well as Hattie and Olive, and he has a massive fan base. The girls are screaming at this public appearance. Meanwhile, Ella and Arita are protesting for the ogres. Good for them. However, Hattie demands Ella go home.
Prince Char! Are you a fast runner?
Not particularly, no. Why?
Okay, Ella walking home plus Char running away plus walking on sunshine equals a fated encounter. I'm better at math than I thought. I never noticed before that in order to get Char's hand off of her mouth, she literally licks his hand. That's so gross, but it's really funny. Ella is not impressed meeting Char. Meanwhile, he's like, hello. Honestly, a fair reaction to that face card. And she struts off.
You do what your people usually do. Steal my land and destroy my livelihood. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Wait a second. Come back here.
Ooh, and she starts interviewing him. What's your plan for being king? He tells her, well, I have concepts of a plan. Okay. And she's not going to get away that easy because she left her purse where they accidentally bumped into each other. So he tells her, stay right there. I'll go get it. She's going to stay right there. And a horse is coming. She's going to stay right there. And he's whipping the horse and they're coming and they don't see her. How do they not see her? Why aren't they stopping? He's like, girl, why didn't you move? She's like, yeah, I wish I could tell you.
Ella, a Frau, you are not like other girls.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This is 2004, baby. We are prime time. Prime time, not like other girls. Hattie shows up and isn't subtle at all.
I'm the one you want.
Girl. Stand up, girl. Yeah, she freaked him out bad. Hattie orders Ella to go back to the mall, and she catches Arita up on everything that's just happened while they're riding this mechanical escalator. And I'm just curious what this job entails. You know, how long do you think the shifts are? Do you think that they have to wait for people to arrive? Or does it keep going kind of like a, electrical escalator? Just curious, just like how it all works. Rita's hair is so gorgeous. I'm also curious why Ella's mom and Mandy didn't tell her, okay, you actually never have to listen to commands. You get to choose. You know, I command you to not have to listen to commands. Did they try that? I feel like there could have been a loophole there. Saved a lot of trouble.
Ella, come here. Take that. Take that. And that potion bottle. Take those. Take them. Take them.
And she's on the run from the fairy tale cops. She does get arrested, which is really bad, but I'm kind of glad that it happened because we got this really cool scene where they tell her to freeze and she freezes midair.
Freeze!
Cinema. Hattie tells Dame Olga that Arita is actually the reason that Ella stole everything. And how terrible is the timing that Arita is coming to the house to check up on Ella. And Dame Olga tells her she has to tell Arita she never wants to see her again.
Tell her you could never be friends with an Aorthian. No, Dame Olga, there must be some mistake.
This actually pissed me off. I was pissed off when I was 9. I was pissed off when I was watching this when I had the flu in December. I was pissed off again, rewatching it again this week. I'm pissed off while I'm filming this, and I'm pissed off while I'm editing this. Hattie is on my list. Not only does she take away Ella's autonomy, she takes away her best friend. Beheaded.
I could never be friends with an Aorthian.
Yeah, actually heartbreaking. And what's even more heartbreaking is the fact that this is the last we're going to see of Arita until the end of the movie. I had to watch Bend It Like Beckham right after because I was so sad about that.
I have got to find Lucinda and get her to take back the curse.
Mandy helps her by letting her borrow her boyfriend, Benny. Mandy turned her boyfriend, Benny, into a book that can reveal where anyone is in the kingdom. Magnificent spell work. Unfortunate that it happened to her boyfriend on accident. Love Mandy's outfit, would wear that tomorrow. They find Lucinda is in Giantville. Okay, we're going to Giantville. Let's go to Giantville. And let's play Respect while we do that too, because why the hell not? On the journey, Ella and Benny find an elf and a few men in a forest. Never good.
Combo! Kneel! Front step kick! Dragon roundhouse kick!
This is very Fiona Corp. These two scenes are sitting together at the dinner table. This is where we're introduced to Slannon, and I love Slannon.
How about a bite to eat?
That's very sweet, but I'm on a tight schedule.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, message received, miss. I think I'm all that.
Ella ends up agreeing to go. They have to pass through the elf village in order to get to the restaurant that Slannon has a coupon to. Remember what I said about elves being forced to work jobs that they don't want to?
No elf shall be engaged in any occupation other than singing, juggling, and/or tomfoolery.
And Slannon hates all of this. He hates singing and dancing. He doesn't like tomfoolery. He wants to be a lawyer. And you know, we don't say tomfoolery like we used to. Bring back tomfoolery. While they're leaving, they see these elves being put into these carts and sent to the royal castle in Lamia. Ella inspires Slannon to go talk to Prince Char about having equal occupation rights.
He might be different than his uncle.
Oh, why? Because he's a hunk. What is he, like about 6 foot?
Yeah, about.
Yeah, I hate the guy already.
Our beloved trio is in the forest where all non-humans were banned to. Tensions are high between humans and everyone else, for sure. They encounter an ogre who threatens to eat them. Ella's like, girls, there's a misunderstanding here. I'm actually an ally. They're like, okay, girl, and we're hungry.
I led a rally on your behalf the other day. Maybe you heard about it?
Oh, and their butt cracks are out too. They are boiling water to cook Ella in, and Prince Char comes in to save her. He literally kicks the ogre in the butt, and he tells him, girl, did you kill my dad? The ogre's like, why would we kill King Florian? He was so good to us. He releases the ogre. As we know, Giantville is on the way to the castle in Lamia. Who lives in the castle? Prince Char. So Prince Char's like, oh, I'll go with you guys to Giantville. Giantville's on the way to the castle in Lamia.
Tell him to come with us.
Come with us.
Slannon is so funny. So he takes the time to tell Prince Char about how he wants to advocate for equal occupational rights.
That's not really my area of expertise. My advice to you would be to talk to my uncle.
This actually is a bit of a turnoff for Ella. She's very passionate. She does the best she can with the power that she has. Naturally, she probably feels a bit powerless because of the curse that she has. And so she feels very empowered to advocate for those who feel powerless. The foundation of her advocacy is her own powerlessness within herself. So she does what she can't do for herself for others. So seeing this guy who's about to be in the most powerful position in the kingdom be like, I don't really care. She's like, ew.
You'll have the power to make a difference in the world and you don't even care.
He's like, I didn't ask to be prince. Ooh, there's a little bit of this double entendre. Ella is speaking up for those who have had their lives ripped away from them with no opportunity to fight back. But the second interpretation is the fact that Prince Char does not want to be king, but he's being forced to do it. So that makes it kind of a complicated situation. Ella decides to show Char what's going on with the giants, since he really didn't believe Ella until he actually saw it, and he's shocked. He cannot believe the working conditions of the giants, especially because they've always been so peaceful. So something is waking up in Char. Okay. We finally make it to Giantville. So Ella goes looking for Lucinda and leaves Prince Char to his future king duties.
Too late, sweetheart. She left about an hour ago.
Betty shows us that Lucinda's getting an FWI.
FWI?
Flying while intoxicated.
Messy, 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 messy. And now we have no idea where she is. Slannon gets farted off of a chair. Meanwhile, Char is doing an absolutely fantastic job talking to the giants about the terrible situation that is happening. Okay, he's going to be very good at being a king. Ella's very discouraged and wants to leave and tells Char goodbye.
You can't leave now. It's the middle of the night. No, you have to stay for the party.
Ooh. Yeah, that accidentally triggered the obedience thing.
Okay, I'll stay.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but you don't have to stay. I don't want to make you do anything you don't want to do.
Can you imagine how huge this is for Ella? It literally looks like she's never been told this before in her life. She gets a choice. Having a choice really does mean something, especially when you have such a lack of control. Char gives Ella that choice. And you have the choice to make being online safer with a single click. The second part of that sentence is thanks to this video's sponsor, NordVPN. NordVPN is the fastest virtual private network program on the planet, so it won't interrupt your everyday online scrolling while making sure you are protected. What I actually use NordVPN for the most is their unique tool, Threat Protection Pro, notably the Scam and Fraud Alert feature. I could hear my friends and family laugh at that. Something about me is I'm going to buy something from a sketchy website. For example, recently I needed to get a new pair of glasses because my prescription has went up a lot, so I've been perusing the web for a pair of glasses. My brain says there's no way there could possibly be a scam website for glasses. That would be crazy. Well, apparently there's a lot of them because NordVPN has clocked multiple websites while I've been browsing. That feeling of uncertainty I feel after I order something online has been eradicated thanks to NordVPN. You can get an exclusive NordVPN deal plus 4 months extra by going to nordvpn.com/Jordy'sComputer, nordvpn.com/Jordy'sComputer, or you can click the link in the description. It's risk-free and you get 30-day money-back guarantee. So why not try it? Thank you, NordVPN, for sponsoring this video. Choices. Choices for online safety. Choices to stay with Prince Char. Ella decides to stay. Ella and Char are getting to know each other, and she tells him that she's looking for her fairy godmother and she cannot find her anywhere. Prince Char's like, oh, you should just use the census. It's at the library in the castle, but I would have to let you in. So you would probably have to come with me to the castle.
Okay.
Twist her arm. Meanwhile, the giants are trying to get Slannon to sing and dance. It's actually kind of interesting because they themselves are victims of stereotypes, but then they proceed to stereotype others. And Slannon's guilty of this too. He thought the giants would be big and ugly, until he met Giant Heidi Klum, of course, and changed his mind. Poor Ella stands up for Slannon, and so the giants are like, okay, how about you sing and dance?
Somebody to
love. The first time I've ever heard Somebody to Love by Queen. And I'm going to argue that this is... it's good. It's hard to compare after hearing this for the first time. And these giants actually pissed me off. They are so demanding of her.
Sing! Louder! Give it a little more soul! Dance!
Just enjoy the show. Y'all are not paying her. Don't you know what it's like to be overworked and underpaid? But I am going to let this slide because this performance did shape a generation of the 11 people who watched this movie. Can anybody find me? What's so fantastic about the fact that she's singing Somebody to Love is the lyrics.
I just gotta get out of this prison cell. One day I'm gonna be free.
Ella and Char start dancing, and they get so deep into the dance with each other that they forget that there's a crowd even around them. It's like they say, when you're in love, you just forget about the world around you. And Heidi Klum and Slannon are actually very donkey and dragon. You know what I mean? It's the same energy there. We are learning about Ella and Char's past. Both of Char's parents have passed away. Ella's mom passed away, so they bond over that.
Kiss me.
Ooh, complication here. Tense music plays.
That wasn't an order, you know.
I know.
Top 5 most romantic scenes ever. Ever! I'm gonna go further on this, that this wasn't a command, because you know that little sound that plays every time Ella is forced to do something?
Hello? Take that.
Kick his butt!
We did not hear that sound here.
Kiss me.
All by choice. Love, 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 love. Yeah! On their way to Lamia, they see beautiful scenery on their beautiful horses, and they're having so much fun. Crazy to think that I transcended space, time, and multiple universes to get here, but it was worth it. Olga, Hattie, and Olive are at the Four Seasons. Getting ready for the ball. Olga wants to look 25, so she is presented with bat feces and oxen blood.
Buttocks.
And she ends up looking terrifying. I know that this was a joke, but we are on our way there. Hattie, Olive, and a bunch of the Prince Char fan club are getting a tour of the castle.
Prince Char walked on this actual floor! Stop tonguing the foyer!
Ladies, stop tonguing the foyer! So everyone arrives to the castle, and Slannon does not get in because he's an elf.
No elves in the palace unless they're performing.
Discrimination.
And no one noticed. Ella and Char accidentally walk in on the tour. Was this not made aware? That's a major security risk. And this castle seems so small because Sir Edgar finds them so quickly.
Up to it then, both of you.
What I love about Char is he's gonna match Ella's freak. Char brings Ella to the library so she can look at the census to find Lucinda, and then talks to his uncle about the working conditions of the giants. And you can tell Char's much more confident when talking to Sir Edgar, and even tells him that he's planning on asking Ella to marry him. Oh my god. Usually I would be like, this is so crazy you just met, but it just works here for some reason for me. It makes sense. Hattie somehow ends up getting to talk to Sir Edgar, which is very bad, obviously.
Ella does everything she's told. I don't know why, but she does.
On top of that, Ella can't find Lucinda in the census. But she looks at the book again and notices a location. We know where she is. Finally, we found where she lives, right? Unfortunately, Edgar finds Ella first.
Now touch your toes.
Oh! Oh no.
Yeah, this is very bad.
Put your left foot in, left foot out, left foot in, and shake it all about.
He's making her do the hokey pokey against her will. Disgusting. He tells Ella that she must kill Char at midnight. Is it shocking the guy who looks evil, talks evil, acts evil is evil? We thought losing Arita would be the final straw, but this? Oh. So Ella's now frantic to find Lucinda to break this curse.
Sorry, Toots. She was kicked out last week.
Do you know where I could find her?
Nope.
And Ella just gives up. She writes a letter to Char breaking up with him and tells Slanted to lock her to a tree. Her plan is to stay clear of the prince until midnight, and she's kind of hoping that might break the curse or hoping something will happen there. Ella tells Slanted to go get the elves, giants, and ogres, bring them to the castle to keep Char away from Edgar. Slanted is pissed because he's like, girl, do you want me to get killed? But he does it anyway. Shout out to him.
Fine! Into the forest of certain death walks Slanted.
It's the evening of the ball. Char is crestfallen that Ella has broken up with him via letter after everything they've been through. Somehow, Lucinda shows up. I could not actually figure out why Lucinda shows up, but she does. She is forced there. I don't know if it's because Ella is trying to break the spell. I have no idea. This would be really great if Lucinda has changed at all since she gave Ella the obedience spell, maybe learned a few lessons. Unfortunately, she is exactly the same. She refuses to take back the spell. Ella is literally begging her.
You don't like my gift? Fine. Get rid of it yourself. Don't blame me for your problems.
Okay, interesting. She then unlocks Ella from the tree, tells her to go to the ball, and then changes her outfit. She had good intentions. Yeah, this is not good. They're really happy to see each other. She tells him she loves him because she's kind of forced to.
Tell me how you really feel about me.
I love you.
And Char takes her to the Hall of Mirrors where his father proposed to his mother. And that would be really romantic if she weren't about to kill him. Also, Lucinda really should have gone into fashion design because this dress is very stunning. So Char is proposing and she's sobbing. And then the clock strikes midnight. And she freaks out. And I'm anxious to just talking about it. He's like, girl, you love me. What's the problem? Is it my politics? Is it my family? Yeah. We love each other. That's what matters, right? And then she's about to stick the knife in him. And then we reflect on Ella's life in the Hall of Mirrors. That's beautiful symbolism. Wow. She thinks about all of the times that she was commanded to do things she didn't want to do as she resists the command that Edgar gave her. Then she remembers what her mom told her.
What's inside you is stronger than any spell.
She looks at herself in the mirror and commands to herself.
You will no longer be obedient!
Chills. She broke her own spell. Wow. It was up to her. She held the power the entire time. It's really interesting that even though she's this fierce, passionate advocate who will stand up for the rights of others, she didn't believe she had the power to give that same respect to herself. Wow. Unfortunately, Char did see that she was about to stab him, so it's not a great tale of freedom yet. Now the man she loves thinks she was trying to kill him, and Edgar doesn't help because he came up with a really good lie.
Your Highness, your uncle didn't want to frighten you, but the secret police informed us of a possible uprising. Those ogres in the forest, they were after you.
And now she's physically locked up. This really sucks because she's about to be put to death too. Edgar also forbids Char go talk to her because he, of course, was going to go and do that. And lest we forget Edgar's original plan to kill Char. That's still in the works. Meanwhile, Slanna did manage to get the ogres, elves, and giants with him, and luckily they find Benny in a recycle bin.
I think Ella's in trouble. Something to do with Edgar. We have to find her.
Girl, I think you were there. She's about to kill the prince. So they got this really good group coming in to take over the castle. And this is actually very Shrek 2, which is really interesting because this came out a couple months before Shrek 2, which is why I say, like, the parallels are crazy. It's not just Ella Enchanted copying Shrek. I think it's really just an energetic thing there where it is just paralleled with it. I don't know what I'm talking about, actually. They save Ella and move on to stop the coronation because Edgar plans on putting a poisoned crown on Char.
Drop that crown!
Olive's face is so funny. Oh, you think we're going to solve this conflict with words? No, we're going to battle. And the Red Guard shows up.
Oh my god!
They're like ninjas? Hello? And I just love Olga's reactions to everything. So even though Ella tried to kill Char, he still does save her. During the fight, Ella explains to Char what happened, and Mandy turns Benny back into a man. Shout out to her. She finally tells Char that Edgar killed his father. Ooh. All this, and Heston also tries to kill Char. Really bad idea because the girlies were there. They were pissed. Edgar then just admits to killing the king and then goes on this power rant where he accidentally puts on the poisoned crown. Okay, so this is one of my favorite parts.
Ella, stop kissing him! You are never to kiss him again.
You want to bet?
Ooh.
Marry me?
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay, girl, she's using her freedom. She's learned how to answer yes and no to things. Arita is at the wedding, thank God. But why end it there when you could end it with a musical number? Incredible work. I also realized while making this video that Edgar is actually alive. He's just unwell. Like, I thought that man died. Char and Ella ride off into the sunset. There's a lot of ways to interpret Ella's obedience. A lot of people could relate to doing things they don't want to do because of a societal pressure. But it can go even deeper into the topic of consent. And there is a fantastic video about this that I will link below. And pretty heavy topics like racism, xenophobia, and just overall nasty behavior is explored in this movie in a way that's not making light of it, but it still makes sense within the fairy tale satire. Very well done. Very well done. And lastly, the romance plot. It is really important to the story, but it wasn't the point of the story. The point of the story was Ella's battle with obedience and finding her own power. The romantic aspect was definitely more of like a subplot. But I love that they did it. It felt very well-rounded and well done. Sometimes they put in romantic plots in movies that it's just like, this didn't need to be there. The movie would have been exactly the same without it. I don't think that would have happened with this movie. I think that the romantic plot was great and well done, but it wasn't the purpose of the movie. Anyway, I hope I've proven why I believe this movie is a masterpiece and worthy of watching for any Shrek fan. Thank you so much to my members for the support on my channel. It means the world to me. And make sure to like, subscribe, and give me your thoughts for all of your dreams to come true. And again, thank you so much to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Remember to visit nordvpn.com/Jordy'sComputer, or you can click that link in the description to get an exclusive deal plus 4 months extra. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon.